Welcome back, everybody, to the Cultureverse podcast. Today we got a new movie review for you guys. We will be reviewing The Amateur, starring Rami Malek. But before that, we're going to break down the new Fantastic Four trailer. So, Tyler, you want to go ahead and kick us off on your thoughts on it?
Look good. Look good.
Yeah.
I will say they definitely improved the way the thing moved. I know that was my big complaint going into the teaser that I wasn't a big fan of how he was moving. Design wise, I thought he looked really good, but no, that looks good. Um, I know this has been a big controversy with this trailer, and that's the new Silver Surfer. Not being a woman, I don't care about that, but the way it looks, people are saying it looks worse than the 2007 Silver Surfer, and I agree. We somehow moved back in CGI, and it doesn't make sense.
I'm gonna actually agree. I also think it just looks really wonky. I think specifically it's the face. The face just looks wrong. Yeah, I don't know what it is. If it's the eyes, if it's the, it just doesn't look right. But I think this is kind of one of those things where you know it's an unfinished product overall. I mean, I know it's a trailer and we're getting close, but it's kind of one of those things that they can touch up on. So like I'm not worried about it. And even if they don't touch up on it a lot, I'm still not too worried about it. You know, it's not like she's one of the Fantastic Four. She's important, but I mean, she'll probably be in the movie for a max of like 20 minutes of screen time, you know? I mean, she'll be showing up, given the information. We'll see her later, but I'm not too worried about her, but I agree, Tyler. The OG looked better, which is like, how did we do that?
18 years ago, and it
At
somehow
two
looks
times.
worse.
But the thing that I obviously am stoked about, I think everybody else is I've repetitively been saying they've not been showing us Mr. Fantastic stretching because they're concerned it'll look bad because CGI, that's so hard. And I keep saying it doesn't matter how good your CGI is nowadays, it's not going to look good. I think I stand corrected. I thought it looked good. I thought it looked legit, as legit as it can look. I mean, it is a guy stretching at the end of the day. Like, how do you make that look real? But I mean, I thought it looked good. It looked legit. I liked the way he moved. So, granted, it was just a small clip. I'm just happy we got to see it. I heard some people giving theories that like he wasn't gonna have powers, and I was like, that will absolutely suck ass. Like, why would he be the one without powers? Like, that's really dumb. So, I'm really glad that's not a real thing. You know, I know it's a stupid rumor, but you never know. So, that's what I loved about that trailer was seeing Mr. Fantastic actually stretching.
I think Pedro looks great. Like he
Yeah.
just looks so like he just
Looks
embodies it well. I
fantastic.
think he does look
Shut
fantastic.
the
But he looks like he just looks good in the role. I don't know. I
I
can't
agree.
explain it. Like I think he looks the best out of all of them. And I guess this kind of segue into my one con at this point is I was kind of on the fence with the casting, but the more and more I see of Joseph Quinn, I feel a little bit more hesitant. I
Hmm.
think I need to.
Yeah, I'm not a big
I
fan
think the
of it.
movie's got to win. At this point, I'm a little bit trending down. Originally, I was like, okay, I'll wait and see. But this kind of trailer, like, I don't know, the trailer, he's got to sell me with the movie because right now I'm just kind of a little bit against it right now. I don't know how you guys stand with that, but
I agree with you.
I guess I'm going to be the lone man on the hill. I've actually been trending up. I think that last trailer here, granted, I do think Chris Evans was kind of like the peak. Like that was perfect. He did so good at the arrogance. But there's two things. One, this is an older version of the Fantastic Four. He's going to be more mature. That's just how it is. Now, he could still be kind of an ass, like we saw where he was like, and you will be a great father. No, you won't. Just kidding. Like, he can still be an ass, but he's not going to be the cocky, overly arrogant, overly shit talking that we have once seen. He still will be, but to me, they're older, they're more mature. I think we'll just see a different version of Johnny. But I just feel like he's got. I saw somebody say this that he has the voice perfect for Johnny, but he doesn't look like Johnny. And I do think when I heard him talk in this new trailer more, he sounds the way I would want. I mean, he sounds I don't think cocky is the word because I just say it's not cocky to me, but he sounds confident. Like he's very full of himself, but in the right ways, I believe. Like for example, there's that scene of him pouring the cereal and he's using the box with him on the box. Like that just feels very Johnny Storm, but yet this new version of him where I think he's not going to be what we're used to. So I'm not like stoked about it, but I was neutral and now I'm a little more excited. The CGI for him looks incredible.
Hmm.
Looks
Hmm.
so good. I'm really excited to see more of that. But I also think it's kind of cool that we got some context for that scene where he's falling in space and that it's him chasing Silver Surfer. That was kind of cool to get more context. But I think this trailer just all around stepped up its game. It just showed a little more of what the movie's going to actually be about. I love the little montage of all the citizens like saying thank you, Fantastic Four. And it's like I like seeing their like this honored, loved team. I think that's really cool. We've not really seen I mean, we've seen like clips here and there of like people wearing Iron Man merch and Hulk stuff because they like, New York City residents. But this feels more like, family, as that's the theme. It feels like people, this is America's family. They just feel more loved, and I'm a really big fan of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a couple things just having listened to you guys going back and forth. One thing I would add about the Silver Surfer, I think part of what looks off to me is that she has hair. Like, why not go the Cassandra Nova route? And like, if you're going to do a female version of Professor X, why don't you go full, do the same thing for the Silver Surfer? Because it's supposed to feel, Silver Surfer is supposed to feel, out of this world. It's not supposed to seem natural. And just basically spray painting someone silver, it doesn't really look that right, I don't think. I think that's part of what was throwing me off, but I would agree it's mostly in like the face and stuff. I don't really give a shit what gender the Silver Surfer is. It's just they're just gonna be like, yeah, you guys are dying, so good luck. That's all it really the role really needs to be. Um, I'm gonna agree on pretty much everything like effects wise we've seen. I would say Tyler's right that the thing looks better. I'm actually surprised that the thing is like probably the character I like the second most out of the four right now, just between like the mix of CGI and casting and the look and everything. Obviously behind Pedro because I think that one's the if you nailed one, I think it's that one. Um, and then I'm gonna have to also join that Johnny Storm bandwagon of this should be taken like Gabe said, the CGI looks fantastic. Like, okay. That was actually an accident. All
Say
right.
that again.
Fantastic. It looked the like the flying with the fire, honestly, it's probably gonna be the powers that look the best throughout the whole movie. This should be taken for Joseph Quinn in as absolutely the highest of compliments. I can't see him being a dick. He's too nice. He's too approachable, too friendly. Like I
Hey,
just
listen to
can't
Gabe.
see him being an ass. So that's kind of I just don't see him as Johnny Storm literally because he's too nice of a guy. And I know what he did in Gladiator, but even in Gladiator, like rarely was I taking this guy seriously as a threat. In the same way, I'm not going to take him seriously as being an ass. Like the thing's just going to pick you up and break you in half. Like that's just it didn't feel that way in the old movies, and I think I just am not going to be able to take him as seriously in that way. Now I know they're trying to go a different route for the character, so it might turn out being just fine anyway. And I know Vanessa Kirby kind of commented about playing the Invisible Woman, especially in like an older set movie, because she's like playing this character from like 60s comic books. Like she didn't really have like a whole ton of character depth or something, so they kind of have to like figure her out back then. And they're basically, it just kind of sounds like they're doing a new version of these characters. So maybe that it basically depends on the movie, which is obvious, but you have to go there and actually see it for me to actually have my final thoughts play out on them. I can say all I want about the castings, which obviously I've made pretty clear so far anyway, that Pedro is really the only one that I'm enamored with, and the thing is fine. But anyway, yeah, it's I'm basically in the same spot after the as I was after the first trailer. I know they showed a little bit more, but I'm just still of the mindset of I just have to see it. Like I'm excited, but I'm not through the roof. I just need to see it.
All right.
You know what
Anybody
I
else?
need to see?
Yeah.
I need to see Galactus. I was telling Tyler that first reveal is gonna
Mhm.
hit
Saw
like
his foot.
crack.
That last
So
scene at the end was
smooth.
crazy, which
But the full scale will be that'll be cinema. I'll be like
I'm
this.
pretty, I mean, in case people hadn't realized yet, I think it's pretty clear that this
Yeah,
world
we know
is
what's gonna happen.
destroyed. This world's getting destroyed. They're not beating Galactus. Like just watching him walk through the street, that alone is like one of the highest scale activities we've seen in like a Marvel movie almost ever, outside of a couple things with like obviously Infinity War and Endgame, but that like he's literally just walking. What happens when he starts attacking? Like that it's just a crazy concept. So We're definitely gonna. I don't care what the director says about how this won't show any other heroes. This won't show Doctor Doom. I don't believe him. We're gonna see him leaving the universe.
Cap.
The end credit scene's going to be Doom, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe we're wrong.
I got two things to say,
Yeah.
Jack. When it comes to your point about the Silver Surfer, that is how she looks in the comics. So I have no issue with
Well,
that.
it's dumb.
You're dumb.
Yeah.
And then my second thing is, it kind of goes back to Gabe pointing out all the citizens praising the Fantastic Four. I'm curious on what they did to get this praise. Who did they beat? Doctor Doom, Mole Man, Namor. I'm just curious if
Mole
they're gonna
Man.
go. Yeah, he's one of their villains. I'm curious on if they go down that route and show us the before.
Mole Man's gonna be in the movie,
I
I'm
know.
gonna throw
I'm
up.
just
Who's
curious
playing
if
him?
it's gonna be a
right?
it's
It's the dude
what's his
from.
name? The
It's
old guy, long hair,
The
original.
old guy with long hair.
that's not Mole Man. That's the guy who like sent the monkeys to space or whatever. That's a different character. That's
What are we
a
talking about?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Not
Mole
okay,
Man
yeah.
is the guy from Jack, the guy from Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah, I forgot. They didn't even show like who was the old guy with the monkeys again?
I can't remember his name. He
Which
has
guy
a
from
name.
Cobra Kai? Terry
What are we talking
Silver?
about? Monkeys?
No,
Crease?
one thing at a time. Jack, the guy from Cobra Kai who's really stupid, the guy who I don't like, the bigger dude, the like all the
Stingray?
Yes, that actor.
Yeah. But so the Mole Man, is that basically the Underminer or like what's going on there? I don't, as a casual
Kind of.
non-comic book reader,
It's
what
a
is
I
that?
mean, I've
super
never
minor
seen him
villain.
I haven't read any comics, but he's
Um,
kind of, I'm assuming self-explanatory. He's a mole man
How is that a threat?
well, it's
causing
just
problems
like-
underneath the
it's just a
world,
minor
and
villain, yeah.
yeah,
This is gonna be a
Um,
Doc Seismic situation, isn't it?
I mean, could be.
yes.
It's just a villain of the week.
Who
Come
thinks it's
on
Miles
down.
Morales?
The old guy with the long hair is Ivan Kragoff, the Red Ghost. That's who he's playing. They've pretty much confirmed that he in the basically in the comics he
He's an interesting fella.
this
Oh
sounds
boy, here we
so,
go.
so dumb, and I'm sure that they'll change it because it's pretty stupid. He went on like this NASA type experiment and took a bunch of chimps to space with him, and pretty much they were like, I don't know exactly how it works. I just know that when he comes back, he's able to like literally like control them. Yeah, I don't know how it works. I
Bro
just
thinks he's Caesar.
that's who he's supposed to be. So that'll be interesting to see how they incorporate that. But kind of talking about what did they do to earn this, Tyler? I think it's just going to be a bunch of different villains that they will have beaten. Like I think that's one of them, the Red Ghost, and then
The Red Ghost
and then
and Mole
I think there'll
Man.
just be a bunch of different characters that they will have defeated. So it'll be interesting to see. Okay, well, with that, let's get into the amateur review here. So, in terms of order, do we want to do a certain order? I don't really care.
Gave the same.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and kick us off then. So, I was really excited for this movie. I remember seeing the different trailers and just kind of like the more I saw the trailers, the more I was looking forward to this one. I like Rami Malek. I like Lawrence Fishburne. It just seemed like it was going to be a fun movie. So I was already pretty hooked from that alone. So I was excited to go see it. That being said, I think the movie kind of kicks off right away within the first like 20 minutes of they really hit the emotional arc. Like Rami Malek does so good with the emotions of losing his wife. Like it's emotional. It's not just another story where the wife dies. Like he makes you believe it, he makes you feel it. And I think that they just really touch on like how it's affected him well instead of just kind of feeling like he either A wasn't affected that badly. Like sometimes you get the well, he's just in shock, so he's not that emotional. They didn't do that. Or B, I also think that they just did good with just him reacting to this in a reasonable, not reasonable.
It's reasonable.
Him reacting to this in a way that was believable and not just like an absurd storyline where he was either goes crazy and has nothing with his emotions or like they tied it together. He was emotional, but he was obviously intelligent and very um, just very well put together with his whole plan. So I love that. The emotions were high. I felt them all. I thought it was really good. This was just like one of the easiest characters to cheer for me. Like he's just such this loser like type guy. Like they just want you to pretty much see him and be like, who is this guy? Like, and that's kind of how you feel at first. And Rami Malek is like that dude is skin and bones. Like he is a skinny little guy, and they kept using the glasses. He would put on the glasses. Like they were fully buying into the stereotype of kind of just nerdy IT type guy, and it just made it so easy to cheer for him. Like you just wanted to see him succeed. It was fun. But what really did it for me in this movie was just all the different like ways that he managed to pull things off. Watching him just run the government in circles was fun. I loved all the different shit he did. Like when they finally managed to get that like CD cracked down, and it was just a complete dead end. Like just so he could have long enough to get some training from uh, Lawrence Fishburne's character. I just loved watching him pull off all these different things, and I enjoy and that's what made this movie different than just your stereotypical action thriller is he wasn't just going around shooting people. He had to find creative ways to do things because he didn't want to just shoot somebody. Like with that first one with the chick with the pollen, I remember like I leaned over to Jack and I was like, this is insane. Like he's literally torturing her nearly. Like the fact that and I think at first you're kind of like, how is this better than just shooting her? Like, what is this? But then they kind of like continue to show that he clearly wants to give them a chance to live, which I love that. I like a character like that. He's not just ruthlessly out for blood necessarily. He's trying to not kill. Obviously, it never goes well, but I just enjoyed the whole concept of a character like that. You know, not just your boring old get strapped up with guns and go shoot them down. Like this was like a setting up intentional device traps. Like it was fun, it was cool, it was a not your stereotypical story. So I enjoyed that a lot. Um, I really liked Lawrence Fishburne. I thought he was a really good addition. He's good in like everything like these. I love him in John Wick. He's just good for these roles. So I enjoyed him. I do wish he was in the movie a bit more, honestly. The whole like fake out death thing. We just don't see him again for like the rest of the movie until the very end. So that kind of sucked. I didn't want to see him more. I thought he could have played a bigger role. I kept saying to Jack, I kept waiting for him to like switch sides and start helping him, and he just
Yeah.
never did, which that's where I think they might have missed. I think he should have because clearly he didn't want to kill him. Like he was just doing what he was told. So like at some point I wanted the switch and we never got it. But that being said, I thought that the ending was really satisfying. I did not want him to kill the last guy. I once again, I like these more pure characters. I like the concept of getting the revenge, and I love the way he does it. I like the whole dialogue of that last scene on the boat is really good. They have some really good back and forth banter. I think that the actor for the I can't think of the guy's name, but the actor for the last dude was very good. He was breaking down a lot of stuff well, but I think having him like get down and putting him in the same place that his wife was like that was a very rewarding feeling. It was just kind of like he done it. He got him. Everyone doubted him, and he did it. And then using his intelligence enough to push him over into Finland territory was like that's just the cherry on top. You know, like that's he outsmarted him strictly. He didn't pull the trigger like everybody thought he would. They did something different, and they just went with a more unique and using the character. It makes sense within the parameters of the character. It would have made sense if he would have ended up pulling the trigger. That's not who he was. They painted that very clearly. He was not going to be the guy to pull the trigger. So I'm glad they didn't end up making him be the guy to pull the trigger. Like that just wouldn't have added up for me. So um yeah, I'll just kind of leave it to there. That's a pretty basic breakdown of it, but yeah, I'll leave it there and let Caleb go.
Did you guys
Yeah.
see who that was?
Oh,
The guy you were talking about on the boat, the last of the terrorists?
No.
He's from the MCU. He's the
there.
I had to look up his name. It's like Michael Stahlberg or something. He's the other doctor in Doctor Strange that
I'm not recognizing
Strange basically
Oh.
ego checks.
Yeah, the one that's kind of a
And he's there at the wedding in the second Doctor Strange too. He's just the other doctor basically.
gotcha.
But he's also in Men in Black 3, I realized. But it was just weird that he was playing some like Russian terrorist and something. I was like, that is not who I remember you being.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. I kind of said this was to start my thing off. I kind of said it was like the most dad movie of 2025 so far. It's kind of like the impression I got from it. I kind of just kind of like what Gabe said. I'm gonna echo kind of like it was just a kind of like a fun mystery hunt movie. I thought the imagery was like its tools, like Gabe was saying, like in a unique and flashy way that I haven't seen. Like how the movie uses like fresh technology and like it upped the ante like on each of his decisions. Like everything he had to do was more amplified because of the technology we've seen that we hadn't seen in other movies. On the top of that, each interaction with the four killers I thought was really creative and new and entertaining. So I just liked how each thing felt different, and that's what they needed to capitalize on. It did a good job with that. I thought this movie wasn't afraid to take any risks, which is not it's not your typical revenge story, like Gabe has been saying too. The approach of strategical warfare, it allowed us to kind of wonder what we might do, like if we were in the situation. I appreciated how we kind of see the good guys die or get injured, like the one girl in Intralink or whatever her name was. I don't remember what her name was, the code or whatever. I thought it was good to see them get hurt or die. I do think the fake out death is kind of like whatever, but at least we see like it kind of like made it so that there was actually a challenge they were going up against. I thought there was a hint of plot armor, but I feel comfortable letting it slide in this movie just because it wouldn't have progressed the movie at all. So it's like I understand it. Um, I agree. Rami Malek did put on a really good performance. He embodied the vengeful nerd very well, very emotional in the beginning. I thought it was really good. Lawrence Fishburne, I agree, really good for his undervalued screen time. He was comedic too. I thought his chemistry with Rami was really good. And I thought Catriona Balfe, who plays the Intralik or whatever, I can't remember her name. I thought she was pretty good for her small amount of screen time too. And I thought realistically, this is just a good time in the theater. It's been a while since I was like this invested in the plot of a new movie. It's fairly easygoing on the casual fan, and that's kind of what I wanted from this movie. As far as some cons, I feel like this movie can drag a little bit at times. I thought the first act of the movie was easily the worst. It picked up pretty quickly from like when he starts training it with Henderson. But there are sequences in this movie that kind of felt elongated or was just starting to make me check out. Just some things felt dragged a little bit. I also think the movie can sometimes feel like it's like smarter than the viewer sometimes. I thought there was a little bit of like lack of explanation for like some of the tech stuff happening, and they were just passing it off as like it's it's tech. It's just this advanced. I thought it was like okay, and I don't disagree with the choices logically. It's just I probably couldn't if I wanted to. So, um, and the other thing, I just kind of thought the setup for the main story. Gabe, I totally agree with him. Look, did a great job making it emotional with the wife. I just feel like from an audience standpoint, the fact that she dies so quickly, like I like that we get to the point quicker, but I just feel like I can't align my motivations with his character. And so like I feel nothing for like his vengeance really. Like I just personally was like, I get it, but like I just don't really feel any emotions towards him. Like it's like I get it. I just didn't it didn't resonate with me really. And I just feel like the CIA's proposal to take down the whole operation would have been like I didn't think he was like so bad that he would like be driven to do this really fascinating revenge tour, but whatever. It's like it's fine. I mean, it works for the story, but I just was like, I didn't. I was kind of hoping their like idea would have been like so like terrible that it would have forced him to do it. But I was like I feel like it's not a terrible idea for the CIA to do it. But fine, whatever. And for the ending, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little iffy on it. A little different. I agree, Gabe, with the reasons. Like I do think it plays into him not being a cold-blooded killer. I agree with that, but it just felt like so ironically anticlimactic, and I was just kind of like, it just felt like the ending kind of got to the point too quick for me, and I was just like, okay, I don't, I don't hate the ending by any means. I was just like very anticlimactic, and I didn't think I wasn't ready for it to be over at that point. So, that's kind of my whole thing. I have a couple other comments also. Like, why would she waste the coffee like that at the very beginning? You know, she's like, he made her that great cup of coffee. She took two sips and she left it. It's so sad. And then this is also just like it's like a logic thing. I just kind of asked when I wanted to ask you, how did he find the killer's voices through their voices, or how did he find their faces through the voices? That was so cool. Like that, you know, when you like they're talking like over the cameras and you can like track it and it goes to their faces. I was like, wait, that's kind of awesome. But I was just like, I don't know. It's a small thing, but it was just whatever. So I'm done.
Never underestimate the American government, buddy.
Understandable.
All right, Jack, you're up.
All right, I will probably be a little more concise than that. I think that these two covered it pretty well so far. Um, I will say this is not like a very small genre of movies. Like we've seen this type of story played out a lot on screen. with, the whole revenge story. Like that's a pretty generic storyline. I'm not opposed to that storyline because that's someone on here has said before that's kind of like a guilty pleasure type of storyline for him. They just like, Gabe, was that you? Like I'm never really opposed to that. It works pretty much just about every time, at least to some extent, unless you really fumble the bag. But I will say this was probably the closest one to feeling like the Bourne movies that I've seen, just in the fact that it's a lot more of like from the intelligence aspect and like staying hidden and outsmarting the people that are chasing you. Like, John Wick is more of a shoot yourself out of every situation type of thing. And this was more, I don't want to say smarter. It's just a different type. They're trying to use intelligence with their main character more than anything, which is pretty obvious. But I actually kind of like that. I also like the kind of flipping the genre a little bit by having our protagonist have absolutely no idea what the hell he's doing in terms of the physicality of it or fighting them. Obviously, he's more than capable of being, this terrorist type person since he can just build an IED in like 10 seconds, which I would tell Gabe, like for example, on the when he takes the guy out in the pool that's like over the top of the buildings, I just did not question one bit that he got those bombs in the glass underneath the pool. Like I was just like, oh yeah, okay. Why wouldn't he do that? That makes sense. But like if he would have just taken out a gun and shot the guy, I'd be like, there's no way he hit that shot. So like there was just so many times where you're like, oh God, he's doing it again. Or what the hell is he gonna do this time? And it was just like, well, I mean, he's the guy. Like Lawrence Fishburne says during the movie, he's like, perhaps we underestimated or misevaluated this individual because he's just doing absurd shit all the time. And I'm really not that astonished when I see it. Like I'm astonished when I see the bomb go off and he just killed like four people. But the fact that he can do it was just like, okay. And so that was kind of a fun character to follow around that's able to do that. And I know Caleb kind of talks about that being a little bit of plot armor. Him being that smart is literally plot armor. But there are people that are that smart. So it's kind of like back and forth with that. That's kind of how a lot of those movies are where it's a 1v million people.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, Caleb, I'm not mad at it, just acknowledging it exists. You watch The Terminal List, John Wick, all that stuff. It's like, yeah, this guy would probably be dead, but I guess he's just like that.
John Wick is
So
more than like that.
John Wick is literally like that. I apologize, Mr. Wick. Um, I did really like, the supporting performances out of, like Lawrence Fishburne's always enjoyable to have in these types of movies. John Bernthal has like two or three scenes that are obviously for me enjoyable, but um, and what was the actress name of the girl you're talking about, Caleb?
Catriona
Whoever
Balfe.
whoever's like the his contact, I thought she was a nice little touch of the thing. I remember being like together, I was like, oh, I hope this is like some, you know, it's cool, well-known actor we know. Actually, it probably worked better that it was just like some
I've
basically
I've seen
face in
her
the
in
crowd.
multiple things.
Have you?
Hmm.
Did you look her
She's
up
in
after? Do you know what that was?
No, I knew who she was right away. She's in a TV
Ford
Okay.
show called
Ferrari.
Outlander, and then she's the wife of Christian Bale's character in uh
Ford v
Ford
Ferrari.
vs Ferrari. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
I thought she was a nice addition to it as well. But yeah, this is kind of just for the most part, it's just a cut and dry, like nice story. It starts out pretty quickly, like Gabe said. It's like barely 2 hours, so you're pretty well in and out, and it wraps up nice. Like the character gets a good ending for for the circumstances. Everyone gets their satisfied justice and whatnot. So at the end of the day, it's basically just kind of a people pleaser, fun type of movie to watch, and that's just fine. We need movies like that. So that
Yeah,
was just kind of how I felt about it.
for sure. All right, Tyler.
Oh yeah, like the other three. I don't know about Caleb. You didn't sound very happy about this, but I had a lot of fun with this movie, and this is a type of movie that I don't think is taken in a serious approach sometimes with movies. Like something that comes to my mind is Novocaine, this guy that
Mm.
doesn't really know what he's doing, but is going on this revenge tour. I just see this more as a comedy aspect, but they didn't do that, and I love that aspect. Rami Malek, of course, absolute star in this movie, as he should have been, because main character and all that. Story wise, I didn't. I like that they didn't try to do too much, honestly. I thought there was going to be two things that were going to unfold that I was not going to be a fan of because these are two plot twists that we have seen so many times that everybody and their mom can figure out. I thought his wife wasn't going to be dead because one, we never see her shot, and two, we don't see her body. So I thought she was going to still be alive. And I thought the director Moore was going to be involved in her killing in some way, shape, or form. But they didn't go that route either. I'm glad they didn't. Um, Something I question that we kind of just talked about, John Bernthal in this movie. Why is bro in this movie? He's in two scenes that have
Ag.
nothing to do with the movie at all.
Preach, brother, preach.
So he's there for no reason at all. Outside of that, I like I said, I really enjoyed this movie. I had a great time watching it. I'm glad they didn't take this overarching approach and try to do too much with it and just went straight to the point. And yeah, I very much enjoyed this movie.
Before we get into our summaries, I just want to say if they would have put in like the summary, the synopsis of the movie that she dies and then she didn't die in the movie, that would have been the craziest twist ever, actually.
I
Because
don't
Yeah,
read
in,
synopsis, so
it's true.
Someone should do that.
But
I was like, that
I
would have been
agree.
insane.
I agree. I remember Jack and I both thinking that she would still be alive, but in my head, I was like, I really hope they don't do that because when you're sitting there predicting in the theater, you don't want to be right. Like
hmm
you can feel like, oh, I knew it. I was smart. Usually that means if the audience was able to predict it, you probably took the easy route. So
hmm
I was really glad that didn't happen for sure. I agree with that. Jack and I did. I mean, I think everybody could have known that Fishburne wasn't going to die. Like he was going to come back. That one was maybe a bit more
hmm
predictable, but the wife not coming back was good because then, I mean, that would have just gotten rid of everything he just done. It would have been everything was useless now. He just killed all these people. Okay, you stopped some bad guys. That was not why he was doing it. So that would have sucked. But
Something else I forgot to mention. I love that he didn't kill the last guy. I know Gabe, you said that, and I couldn't agree more. I love that he didn't. I love the way he approached
oh,
the
it's
entire
it's such a
approach.
power. It's such
Yeah,
a power trip. Like
yeah.
it's actually like the most demoralizing thing you can do. He's like, get down. That's insane. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll get into our little spoiler-free recaps and our star rating. So. Just kind of kicking it off here. This is a super, super rewatchable movie. I could gladly rewatch this movie just because it's so much fun. I mean, it's a great time. The runtime isn't daunting at all. It's enjoyable action. Rami Malek is a really fun star. His character is super fun to cheer for. It's got a creative twist to it. Like I said, he's not just running and gunning with weapons and stuff. He's actually using his wits. He's defeating enemies in ways that are entertaining and unique. So I loved that. With all this being said, I'm going to crown this movie as my favorite movie of 2025 right now, and I gave this a 4.5 out of 5.
Nice. Yeah. In summary, I thought The Amateur to me was a fresh addition to the style of mystery revenge story. I like the idea of it being guided through strategy rather than blunt force. We get some unique and creative plot elements that I just bought into. However, I think this movie can kind of just like shoot itself in the foot with the setup of the movie. And on top of that, I had a little bit of pacing questions, but not that big of a deal. And it held me back from giving it a great rating, but I still had a fun time at the theater for sure. So I did give it a 3.5 out of 5.
All right, Jack.
For me, this movie is kind of falls under your classic revenge thriller type action plot, except for they do some fun and creative things in having their main protagonist not be super, efficient with violence. So they have to use his brain and come up with creative ways to take out their opponents in this movie. So overall, just a fun experience, but it's not something that like blows me away. So just it being a fun experience for me, that's a 4 out of 5.
All right, Tyler.
Yeah, I really don't got much bad to say about this movie outside of John Bernthal having no reason to be in this movie.
Disrespectful.
There's no reason for him to be in here, but yeah, I had a lot of fun with this movie. Action-packed, fun thriller that keeps you on your toes, but at the same time, it doesn't go above and beyond with these unnecessary plot twists. And I also gave this a 4.5, 4 out of 5, like Jack.
There you
Baited.
go.
Sorry, Gabe.
No, half star. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you guys have listened to this point, you have been spoiled. So either you've already seen it, or you're an idiot and you just listen to the whole thing. But regardless, even if we did just spoil it and you still want to go see it, obviously, we all would recommend it. It was definitely a fun movie. But yeah, it's I don't know. Caleb and I have kind of mentioned that this has been the year for decent movies. So
So far.
personally, I was really happy with this movie. So I'm glad that we all enjoyed it, and it's not like one of us just thought it was absolute shit. So
Caleb did.
I
Caleb hated it.
yeah, I thought it was
Unwatchable.
terrible.
Yeah, he thinks this movie shouldn't have been made.
I was shocked by the average rate. This feels like such a safe movie
What's the
this year
average?
so far. 3.
So it's right
Really?
a little bit above average. Is what
I was thinking, yeah, I was thinking
I would
maybe more
imagine
like
this was like a
3.5
3 point.
would be the
Yeah.
average.
That's what I thought
Letterbox
too.
is a harsh crowd.
yes.
This year has been
It's
tough.
hard to get anything close to a 4. If your movie's close to a 4, it's probably damn good.
But
Or
also,
3.8
there's
or
some
higher
weird.
is 3.8 or
also-
higher is usually a pretty great film.
Letterboxd also an inconsistent crowd. You'll see like a movie from like 1938 that's like a silent film. They're like 4.8 out of 5, and you're like, okay.
Yeah. Well, you have to get people to actually watch the movie to rate it. So like a lot of movies will be skewed if they're only certain people it will reach. So it can be tough sometimes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But just some of the reviews too, like people saying like the second review, top review is I fell asleep in the theater halfway through.
Really?
No Subway Surfers.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's
Like
crazy.
I was very surprised by this average rating and the reviews coming in from this movie. So
There were two things I wanted to mention before we wrapped up here. First off, did you guys also literally shit in your pants? Right, cut to him shooting in the gun range.
You know I did, Gabe.
So loud, dude. I don't know if it was
I
like,
They were having a
It was like-
conversation.
they like had just ended a conversation and then it just immediately cut to him shooting. And we were like, I don't know if it was just our theater was loud, but it like
It was just a
felt it in
ringing
my- I
gunshot.
felt it in my core. I felt like I just got shot. But then
It,
the
Uh,
other
yeah.
thing was absolutely could not have been more thrown off. I'm pretty sure they actually hit that lady with a car.
Oh yeah.
That was
Oh, yeah, that was
yes,
great. That was pretty
dead
good.
ass
Yeah.
hit that
Did not
lady
see
with a
that
car.
coming.
Like I told to Jack, I was like,
Mhm.
I think they just actually killed her and hit her with a car, and the director was like, "Well, we might as well leave it
Yeah.
in."
Well, the first
I
thing you
was
said to me, you were like, I think that's the best anyone's ever been hit by a car in a movie.
Dude, it's so realistic. Like it didn't look fake at like, and it was so unexpected. Like the car comes out, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like it hit her so.
That kind of scared me too, honestly. I was like,
Actually,
"Jeez."
that part actually did scare me, not
I
gonna
just
lie.
couldn't believe it, dude. And it looked so real. Like it wasn't. Usually, you can kind of tell because, like, how do you make that look legit without
Yeah.
showing that you obviously pulled them on some sort of like a line or
Mhm.
something? She got hit by a car, bro.
that was one for all the people that are always like, how did none of these people get hit when they're all running through the streets?
Give her the Oscar for best stunt.
Damn.
Yeah, best stuff better go to her. She broke 4
She
ribs
literally
trying to
lost
get
her
in.
life.
I just liked how Rami like started running like Joaquin Phoenix and Joker after he like grabs her phone. He's like,
Yeah, dude, he could not have been more obvious to everybody around him if
He
he did
walked up and
literally
just
anything, bro.
picked up her phone and then just I was like,
That's what I was laughing at. Is like,
I'll be
everybody's
taking
looking-
that.
Everybody's looking at this lady that just got hit by a car, and he just walks up and fucking steals her phone. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, bro was the least obvious criminal of all time. Anytime he would do anything sus, he would just take off sprinting
really
for
good
no
addition.
reason.
Dude was gone,
It
by
was
the
a really,
way.
it was a
Yeah.
really good addition because obviously he wasn't trained enough. Like
Mhm.
that's hell. I'd look like that too. I'd be
yeah,
like,
he was like, I need this, but I can't look too suspicious. And he's like,
yeah, exactly. Like you could just feel the awkwardness of the character, and it was like that's funny, but.
Yeah.
Caleb, I like that you pointed out. It's exactly like the Joker. Like the way he ran, it was so good. But yeah, obviously we enjoyed the film, super fun. But as always, make sure you guys drop any comments below if you guys had any of your own thoughts with the movie you wanted to share or about the Fantastic Four trailer. But as always, make sure you guys check out our social media for more content, and we will catch you guys in the next episode.